Ready?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys. How you doing today? It's your girl, Stoney.
And your boy, Millennial Grandpa.
And this is another episode of the Houston Chronicle. Emphasis on the chronic.
With a K, not a C. And so today, Stoney had a question about marriage. And she wants us to get in on that. And what was the question, Stoney?
Why? Okay. My question really was, why does our generation seem to shy away, or why are we not eager to get married? Because compared to our parents, most of us wait a lot longer. If we do it at all. So maybe Gramps can.
Well, let's see. Our generation. I know a lot of things I've heard that, traditional marriage just isn't what it used to be. Honestly, our generation has just gotten far too savage for marriage.
Facts.
Let's just be real. We're just too savage for marriage at this point. It's dog eat dog. There's too many fucking people on this earth. And most of the time, once you get married, everybody's just bugging you to have children. And it's like, I ain't even trying to contribute to this population thing. A lot of us are more in tune with the world around us right now. And we understand that more kids, marriage contracts, and possible divorces are not what's needed in society right now. It's, I don't know. The infatuation with love that used to be there way back in the day is not there anymore. Like, people used to love, and so you could get married off of the strength of love, and that was enough for 50, 60 years. And you would grow with people, your partner might change, get older, senile sometimes, but there was love there. Now, with so many people that we have access to, I don't need one person to love me, because I can have 1 million followers that tell me that at least 100,000 of them tell me that they love me every day. And a lot of people, that's all they want is just attention. Mm-hmm. And before, the only way you can really get one-on-one close attention was with someone in front of your face. So you settle down with someone so that you can have an attention 24/7 whenever you fucking wanted it. But now we're all connected.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly what I was thinking. To a certain extent, I feel as if the internet has been a big contributing factor to my generation, your generation, not necessarily considering marriage or commitment. Because, for instance, let's take online dating, right? Mm-hmm. Tinder. I used to be on that app. You swipe with a person, right? You talk for a little bit. Okay, that's not a match. Boom. You don't even give this person a chance. You don't have to give them a chance. You go on to the next one. So I feel like our generation is like instant gratification. Mm-hmm. And I think the majority of us associate love with not what necessarily love is, because love is not necessarily always pretty. It's not always easy. It's going to be difficult. There's going to be hard times. It's going to be easy times. There's going to be good times, but it's all a part of the process. And I think with our generation is we expect, I guess, mainly just the good of love, or the good side of love, right? And then when it comes to the rough patches, or the parts where you really have to fight with your partner to stay with your partner, then most of us are just in a generation where we're like, well, I mean, forget this. I can just, you know what I'm saying? Go on Instagram, go on Tinder. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's hitting me up in my DMs. I ain't got to deal with this no more. I'll just move on to the next one. And it's kind of giving us a mentality of there is no necessity for commitment. And because there's a lot of guys, I know guys specifically talk about this, how they feel as if when they get married, or if they get married, they're like giving their power away. I've heard that. Because I guess they feel like they're signing it over because they don't have this freedom anymore.
They don't really. Like, it's...
Okay, elaborate on that.
Because it's almost like... marriage is something that women created. Maybe not say that. Because I know the church created that. But they're definitely enforcing it. Because of the contract that comes along with it. It's beneficial more for the woman than it is for the man to get married. In a marriage, it's automatically assumed, all right, we're married now, you're taking care of me, husband. You're head of the household, you take care of everything. Not necessarily just taking care of everything, but like at the end of the day, you're responsible for me. My well-being, my safety, my emotions, my feelings, you're responsible for that now. As a woman, that's what y'all put on us.
Right.
But as a man, that shit ain't the same. That does not fall on you. You may take ownership of it if you're a real woman and you know how to treat a man. You'll take ownership of his feelings, his emotions, and his time and his effort. But a lot of y'all aren't. And so you have that mentality like, I'm trying to get married so I can be secure, so I can be taken care of. Once I'm married, I have someone forever. You know what I mean? Like I know I'm taken care of, at least. And it's selfish in a way. Well, I kind of just consider the whole marriage thing to be selfish anyway, just because it's like you're literally making me swear to love you. Like at this point, it's not even a choice anymore. It's not even my choice to love you anymore. Like once we get married and we sign this contract, it's like you have to love me. And if you fall out of love with me, you're probably just gonna live a miserable life because you're stuck with me. And if you try to leave me, I'll just take half of everything. And I know that y'all might feel like that's fair, but it ain't. Especially if you didn't put in the previous work that brought him to that point, and you're just reaping the benefits of where he was already. It's a little fucked up. And you can say we were there supporting him, we were there, you know, cooking, cleaning, and doing all this other shit and all this other junk. But let me tell you now, that shit would have gotten done regardless if you were there or not. He would have gotten food. He would have gotten his clothes cleaned, sheets washed. The house would have been cleaned at some point. So all these things that y'all like to lay claim as your reasoning for being able to take half when you don't contribute financially, or at least even close to the level that he's providing for you, selfish.
Well, let me just say this. In most cases, when women end up with a divorce and they take half, 9 times out of 10, there's a child involved.
Okay.
And I mean, in my opinion, when a kid is involved, I think that one, I'm not only taking care of myself, but I'm taking care of this person. We're not together anymore.
Yeah, but I'm still there.
Right.
So I'm taking care of the kid too. So it's not like you're doing this by yourself. You just so happen to be by yourself, but you're not taking care of the child by yourself.
Okay. So if we're talking Gramps and Stoney, but we're not saying that this is everybody's case because there's different cases out there.
Right.
But I can understand if you feel that way if you're, you know what I'm saying, in the child's life and it's just a divorce from the wife, not necessarily the child. But
I just don't think it's fair that if you can't afford to take care of the child, that you get to keep it. I've been taking care of both of y'all this whole time, and now that we're not together, all of a sudden, I gotta still take care of you? Because I'm gonna take care of I'm gonna say the average man, the average father, real father, will take care of his child and want to, and probably have no problem taking custody of him either, because he can afford to. And it doesn't have to be any supplemental income coming out of his pocket or at all. He can just take care of his kid and keep on doing his goddamn thing, and you can go and get a goddamn job somewhere. Until you're at a place where you can also afford to have the child stay over and be able to take care of her properly, or him, whatever, them properly. But because you didn't set up anything prior to, and you didn't plan for a rainy day or for the, I don't want to say the inevitable, but for the possible, which is, and when you get married, there's a possibility of divorce.
A 50% possibility, actually, with the
exactly.
But
I mean, just
percentages.
Yeah, percent. It's either gonna work or it ain't. 50-50. Like shit, you're either gonna have a happy marriage or you not. There ain't no in between. It's either gonna last till you die or you shit, you get divorced. It's only one or the other. And so I shouldn't get reprimanded for that just because, I happen to fall out of love with you. I'm allowed to do that, Just like I was allowed to fall in love with you and think that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you, I'm allowed to change. And I shouldn't be punished for that. As a man. I shouldn't be punished from my heart. And
so you feel as if child support has gone too far?
Yes. I get the child support for the father that doesn't want the child.
And vice versa, the mother who doesn't want the child.
And the mother that doesn't want the child.
The single parent.
And so the single parent that's left with the child can't afford to maintain the child.
Right.
And maintain themselves. But not maintain the lifestyle they had, just a lifestyle, period. You don't get to go back to the lifestyle you had with him when you divorce. Like, you start over, ground zero, yo. Your child is gonna have to learn what it is to be, less fortunate. Sucks, but welcome to being black. Like, shit happens. You don't get a consolation prize just because you were in the race.
So, back to this Tinder thing, right?
Okay. Let me round it off then, so it's not just a hard stop. And I know I sound a little jaded, but I only say that to say that marriage has never really been in the favor of the man, and subconsciously women are taught that they have the upper hand in that. And so in society, you guys have the shit end of the stick. But when it comes to marriage, it makes you equal. It gives you a certain power, and you guys recognize that. And so therefore, a lot of you strive for that. Not even really recognizing like it's been put into you to strive for that type of power of being able to know that if I get with someone that has something, that at the end of the day I'll be able to leave with half of it. So even if I wasted 3 years of my life, I could still leave with half of everything that he built up. So let me make sure that I get with someone and help him get as far as possible, just in case some shit breaks down. Get him as rich as possible so that if some shit does pop off, I can take half of it. Fucked up. And that's a lot of the mind. Go ahead.
What if it's not necessarily for her to just take half of it? What if she just really wants to see you successful and she just adds?
Okay, so then see me be successful. But if shit don't work out, you wanted to see me be successful. You didn't want to see me be successful so that you could then take half at the end of it. Or did you just want to see me be successful because you knew you'd be a part of it? Like if we were married and I was becoming successful and I was keeping you out of it, would you be as into it? If we were living separately and I was, gallivanting all on the red carpet and things like that, and you were just stuck at home in some like small town where you grew up in with your parents, but I'm paying the bills and everything, so don't nobody have to worry. Would you be just as happy? Would you be just as supportive? Would you be pushing my shit if I was trying to become successful and you were trying to help me be successful, but I didn't want you a part of my success? Would you be just as willing to help me out? I doubt it. You know that you're going to benefit from the help that you give, and so therefore you give that help. Not for me, for you.
But do you not benefit from the help that we give?
But you're not doing it for me. I was going to benefit from the help whether you gave it to me. I was going to benefit whether you gave it to me or not because I'm putting in the work. You're just providing the support role. This was my whole idea from the beginning. I brought you into it and now you can reap some of the benefits of it, but it's my shit. You have no claim to this, even though you helped me. And I'll give you some credit, like if I choose to, if there was a significant amount of help. But I mean, if you didn't help me, close this merger deal back in 2014, which allowed me to get the, $60 million that I have now, if you didn't help me with the pro bono work that I was doing, if you didn't help me, cutting open hearts during surgery, then, I mean, you really have no claim to my wealth and success. Mm-hmm. If you didn't actually help me do the actions that gave me this wealth, then what you consider to be support is irrelevant. Taking care of shit at the house is not support. That's your fucking job. You take care of your house. Whether it's my house or your house, you take care of it if you're living in it. Mm-hmm. If you have kids, you take care of them. Not because there's some prize at the end of it, but they're your children. You take care of them. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't have to reward you for that. That part is unfair. And I just didn't want it to seem like I'm just coming in on y'all, but like it truly is a little backwards. Because if it were flipped and y'all put in so much work, like Stoney is an esthetician. If she became esthetician to the stars and was doing Beyonce and Rihanna and Shanti, J-Lo, all of them, and they were all calling her, and she was stacking her stacks, and she had, 20 mil in the bank when she met this guy. And he probably had a little money too, or whatever, but he's nowhere near the level she's at. And so they kick it off, and then, they get married, and then all of a sudden, whatever, shit happens, and they go for a divorce. Since their marriage, she's accumulated now $1 billion from doing makeup. That nigga ain't touched a makeup brush a day in his life. Should he get 50% of that makeup money? Even if he's the one that cheated. But the way that the law is set up, the less fortunate one gets the money.
Yeah, that does suck.
So now, $500 million goes to this deadbeat motherfucker who experienced this good life that she provided for him, probably helped him raise up, start a couple businesses, and then he cheats on her, and then asks for a divorce, and gets $500 million. And then all of y'all women are like, hell no, that's fucked up. But that's the literal same shit y'all do to us. And that's the unfair part. Back to the
So with Tinder, you go on dates, right? You may be interested in a person for about 2-3 days. I say that's usually the max when shit doesn't work out. It's about a 2-3 day maximum. And you move on to the next person. You know what I'm saying? Back in, I don't even want to go back to, well, yeah, I guess we can go to our parents' generation. Back in our parents' generation, when the internet did not exist, you had to meet people the old-fashioned way. You had to run into them. Or you just had to cultivate friendships and relationships. And, with the instant gratification of the internet, we are no longer required to cultivate friendships with people. It's just straight, oh, I like you, oh, I like you too. I barely know anything about you, so I don't really like you. I'm infatuated with you. I want to date you, you know what I'm saying, see where this goes. So y'all date for a little bit. Y'all don't really, you know what I'm saying, y'all don't really know much about each other. Y'all are attracted to each other. And, let's say y'all feel comfortable. So you do that over and over and over and over and over again, right? You repeat this cycle of just dating, maybe getting interested in a person enough just to have sex with them, right? Mm-hmm. So in a generation where that happens over and over and over again, let's say the women in each situation, they try to look at the man as the one. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for any other women, but I've known in my past that when I've gone on dates with guys and it's gone well, I'm like, oh, he can possibly be the one. That, in my opinion, is the first place where you fuck up. Mm-hmm. Because now you already have these expectations for this complete stranger, let's be honest, and you're thinking possibly, oh, okay, if we keep going on dates, you know what I'm saying? He turns into my boyfriend, this, that, and the other. This could possibly be the one I could be settling down. This is marriage. And this man's just thinking, hey, I'm just trying to have a good time right now. I'm not even thinking marriage, Mm-hmm. Which, in my opinion, is more realistic to me. Because now that I see it from a logical point of view, I'm not going to even talk. It's not a male energy. It's a logical energy. Because we women, we thrive off of emotion. So let's just put a little logic behind it. This man, he understands that he barely knows you. He just met you. So, let me at least try to date her first. Let me see where this goes. Do I like her? I'm gonna try to get it regardless because of the fact that I'm a nigga. That's my goal. If she doesn't give it to me and I'm not that interested in her, I don't have to commit. We barely know each other. It ain't nothing to it. Now, if I am interested in her, you know what I'm saying? I might pursue her a little bit if her personality is cool, but that is a slim to none chance in this generation because the gratification is so instant. Like, men back in the days, I don't want to say the majority of them had to marry to have sex, but that's how it was. So, and
really, yeah.
And the man's main goal still never changes. It never changed from back then to now. Their main goal is always to get sex. Okay? So
now we don't have to marry to do it.
Right.
Y'all standards have dropped, ladies.
Yes. We, like a lot of us, well, in a sense, without us knowing, we've kind of just given away our power because we don't see it as power. And if you don't see something as power, you can't help but give it away. And the way that we have access to information and TV is so full of lust nowadays and so full of sex, all the music, like even the music industry, we can talk about that. Back when my parents was growing up, there was, groups like Jagged Edge and, songs like Let's Get Married and stuff like that. You had Mint Condition, you had New Edition, Can You Stand the Rain, like baby, through the sun, through the rain, I'm gonna be here with you. We have a handful of people who make songs like that nowadays, but the majority of our songs is based on our reality. So majority of the music that we are receiving nowadays is about fucking, because that's all we're doing. Nobody is taking time to get to know people anymore, because why? Why do I have to do that when I can take time to get to know Sally, but Susie, she gonna give it to me right away. So I'm just gonna bop with Susie. You know what I'm saying? And so
that's all I'm looking for right now. Like, we as men, we'll get to a point where we're looking for a woman to get to know, to cherish, to adore, and to, do all that shit for. But it comes at a certain stage in our life, and it doesn't happen the same for all men. And generally during the beginning, you rarely will find that of our lives. Like the first 30 years of our lives, you probably won't find many who are ready for that type of life and commitment. Because there's a group of college girls coming out every June, July, and August, ready for anything and everything. And as men, we know that. But there comes a point as men where we stop being able to hang with them. And that's when we get ready to settle down. And it is what it is. But, there's always going to be someone willing to do what you're not. And so, and honestly, I think that's what fucked y'all, because the standard was you had to marry to have sex, right?
Yes.
And as much as as much as the feminists like to bash Christianity is what really held together y'all's
the male-female dynamic.
Yeah, that male-female dynamic that treat her like, precious cargo type deal. The world has started to drift away from Christianity, and so therefore that hold that you had over that part of society is weakening. And so that like I said, the standard was we had to marry y'all to have sex, right? And then the first lady gave it up without any without any marriage talk. You
Attachments.
know what I mean? Without any attachment. She was like, man, I just want to fuck, just to know what it's like.
Right.
And one dude realized, oh, so we can do this without. Okay, awesome, right? And so he tried to do it with someone else, and now we get the conundrum where he says, oh, well, oh, girl here then already gave it to me, so if you ain't about trying to give it up, then I'm just going to keep fucking with her.
And ladies, I'm sorry, you go ahead.
That was the point where you as women needed to keep your stand, because the amount of women who were giving it up freely was little far to none versus the amount of women who were locked into the commitment thing. And those women eventually would have got passed around, got some sort of disease, and been off the market sooner than later. Because there was too little of them, and there were too many horny men. So yeah, there were just too many horny men, and so they would have eventually been pushed to the side to the wayside, and eventually the men would be like, all right.
It's the same song.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I didn't finish the other one.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So there was a bunch of horny men, and they would have pushed these women to the wayside eventually from just being used, and then it would have went back to, damn, all right, so I guess I'm back to courting women again, because that's how most of the women want to be. But you caved, and you said, shit, if women gonna start giving it up all willy-nilly, then I need to, so that I can be ahead of the game. And y'all started competing with each other. To be like, all right, well then shit, who can secure a man first?
Right.
Well, the quickest way to secure a man is to give it up, I guess.
Yep.
And it all spiraled.
And now it's getting to a point where, and I'm not, please don't take this as me bashing anybody, but I'm just stating it as it is. Now it's just getting to a point where, oh my God, he fed me, he's the one. Listen, sis. If you want a man to commit to you, stand in your convictions. Because if this one man who's like, okay, whatever, I'll just go to Susie because she's giving it up. Okay, let him. There's nothing wrong with that. Because of the fact that he just showed you off the back. That's all he wants. So you could either take that as a warning sign. Like, oh, okay, well, he's not really here for me anyway. So cool. You know what I'm saying? Just shake that off and keep moving, because a man is going to be here for all of me eventually. Because I love myself. But I think we got to the point where it's just like, well, damn, I see all these couples, you know, I'm taking it back to 2019. I see all these couples on social media with these perfect relationships. That's probably bullshit, because none of us really know what's going on behind the scenes. And so, because of the fact that we want to feel validated, and we, not even by the person that we're dating, but by the followers on social media, we want to be validated by them. So we hop from relationship to relationship, or let's not even say relationship, situationship to situationship, because of the fact that we're just searching for this perfect love that's been portrayed through television.
I like that you said situationship, because you said search for the perfect love, but it often seems to me like you're searching for the perfect situation.
Right.
Like, this is the situation I see myself living in.
Right.
And I'm trying to find this situation, and I don't have a full concept of what love is or how to express it.
Right.
I like that. Situationship. That's dope.
Thank you. So, and to be honest, the majority of us are probably trying to fill this void of validation through people or a partner, because we're probably broken children in adult bodies. And that is a conversation for another day. But
look out for that conversation called the Parent Trap.
But with that being said, if we were to just, as women, if we just decided, okay, this man is not sleeping with me, or this man doesn't want me because I'm not sleeping with him, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm okay. There's something wrong with him. Because obviously all he wants is one thing. I don't want that type of man.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to continue to thrive by myself. You know, I can date around, entertain people. But if I want to sleep with you, I don't have to.
Right.
I guarantee that some men, yeah, they'll fall off. But the right man will be like, okay.
I wasn't even coming for that, but all right.
Okay.
That's
We'll take it at your pace. What you want to do? I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
In his head, he like, I done got all the sex I need. Like, the shit, I found an interesting woman. Like, cool. Let's do this.
Because, ladies, when a man is taking interest in you as an interesting woman and he's not coming at you sexually, do not assume that he's not having sex.
Right.
Just understand that he's not trying to come at you that way.
Right.
Like, he got his, and he knows he can get some, but he's not trying to get that from you. That he actually sees you. So don't fuck that up by trying to have sex with him. Because he actually sees you. If nigga ain't coming at you on some sexual tip, don't start talking about, oh, you know, are you a freak? Are you this? What do you like to do? That type of stuff. What's the, sexiest thing you've ever, that type of bullshit. Don't come on the first, second, third date with that bullshit.
Not if you want a change for your life. If you want to continue to experience the same things that you've been experiencing, the same F-boys that you've been experiencing, keep doing that. But if you want to change, if you want a positive change in your life, you have to control yourself. Mm-hmm. And I know that sounds really, really hard because sex feels good, okay? Let's be real. It feels great. But you know what feels even better?
Power. Sorry.
But, okay, pretty much power, because you controlling your own mind. And you don't see it as that initially. But eventually you be like, wow, I took control over this situation. And even though he left, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying?
We should also allow you to realize you didn't have control before.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes we women have to realize we're not in control of a situation, even though we think we are in control of a situation because of the fact that that's our man or something. You know what I'm saying?
We're trying to put off confidence. Put on that air of confidence. Like, maybe if I just act confident, I'll feel like I'm in control.
Let me tell you something. They might not say anything, but they sense that confidence is not authentic. And if you if you want to get married in this generation, when you're dating people, compartmentalize, okay? Mm-hmm. Just date them. Don't expect anything more from them. Don't expect anything less.
Experience them.
Experience them. Be in the moment, because a lot of us are already years down the line and we're not necessarily seeing the person for who they are right then and there, and that's a big problem.
Because you can turn a real man into a fuckboy real quick by bringing up sex. Because all that's going to do is make the little man wake up in us, and then he going to be doing all the talking. And he just going to be trying, oh, she brought up sex. Is it time to fuck? All right, let's get the fuck game going. Let's start lacing this game real quick. She brought it up, not me.
And you might have even brought it up because you felt like, that's what he wanted to hear.
No.
Well, is that what you want to talk about?
Right. There we go. Now you asking the questions. Now you asking if you saw how you saw outside of it and then flipped it. You looked outside. I felt you when you did it. You looked outside of it and then went, now I see y'all for who you are. Boom.
Stoney's getting it together, you guys. So, first question, ladies. Is that what you want to talk about, or is that just what you think he wants to talk about? Because if you're talking about something that you think he wants to talk about, this is solely based on him already from the first date. You're already committing yourself more to him than you should.
Y'all be committing on the first date? God damn. I mean, not a full.
Let's not say all women, but
not a full committal.
the women that we're addressing. No, not now.
Yeah.
We don't know. Some do.
True. Yeah, some do. If it don't apply to you,
if it don't apply to you, let it fly. If it don't apply, let it fly.
But if
it's hitting you,
it hit y'all.
This is all sincerity, and this is from a place of experience. Okay.
And from a place of love.
And a place of love.
I am an ally.
All I want to do is I want to see my sisters prosper. And we have to take our power back. Okay? The way you show a man how to approach you is how you approach yourself. What do you love? What's your favorite color? What makes you happy? Are these questions that you know the answer to? If you do know the answer to them, you don't need to wait for him to come ask you these questions to make you feel validated. Because at the end of the day, he's still not going to know how to approach you. But if you come to him already, let's say you take time for yourself, right? And you just do shit that you love to do. Sounds selfish, sounds crazy as hell, but you just do it.
Wait, with him?
No, with yourself.
No, why would that be selfish? You're by yourself.
Okay. So you take time to buy hella green shit because that's your favorite color. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to go see a movie that day. Go take yourself to the movie. You don't have to wait for anybody else to take you to the movie. You want to go see a movie? Take yourself. And I know I've heard a lot of women like, I don't want to go anywhere by myself, this, that, and the other. It's okay. It's okay.
How you gonna meet someone new if you always with somebody? Like, if you always trying to drag a dude along just for the sake of not being alone, and just for companionship, not even because you really want them, but you just needed a companion for the moment just so that you wouldn't feel like, I guess, a lame going to the movies by yourself. Right. How can any single man find you?
And let's not even just say it's a dude. Let's just say...
Or a woman. Whatever.
Or a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Single person.
The question that I need you to ask yourself is, why am I uncomfortable
being alone?
Being by myself? I can't answer that question for you. Only you can answer that question. But once you answer that question, you need to deal with what's making you uncomfortable.
And how do they do that?
So, for me, what has worked on how to deal with what makes me uncomfortable is I don't date during that period because I'm kind of comfortable with that. And also I'm a stoner. So I'm comfortable being by myself. I've had a lot of moments by myself where I just in my own head. What's made me comfortable with being lonely is, or by myself, I won't even call it lonely. By myself is I need time to, for me, what works is journaling. I need time to write my thoughts down because in that moment, I'm not the best at and Gramps knows this, I'm not the best at communicating my feelings right in the moment. I'll get to it eventually, but right in the moment, I'm not the best at it. So what has helped me in a way to communicate better is to write stuff down because I have to get it out some type of way. And I know as women, as black women, we bottle a lot of emotions in. And it's from relationships, it's from friendships, it's from family, it's from co-workers. We just bottle all that stuff in and we have no way to express it. We spread ourselves so thin by giving to this person and giving to this person, and we literally take no time for ourselves. We have to stop that. Mm-hmm. Because that is the main thing that is making people walk all over us. It's because they see the fact that we don't take any time for ourselves. So if they don't care about them, why should I? That's just naturally how somebody's going to act. Mm-hmm. And so now that you understand it like that, if you do, people are more comfortable being in genuine love with people who love themselves genuinely. Mm-hmm. So what I did to love myself was I got comfortable doing things by myself. I went to the park by myself if I wanted to. I went to... God bless you.
Thank you.
I went to go smoke by myself. That shit made me happy. You know what I'm saying? The smallest things that make you happy. If taking your dog out makes you happy and you ain't taking your dog out in a week because you've had a shitload of other people's shit that don't got nothing to do with you, honestly, you've just taken on their loads for them, it's okay to be like, hey, I love you, but I need some alone time. I'm going to go take my dog for a walk. I need some peace. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. The act of saying no itself in certain situations is self-love, contrary to popular belief. Sometimes, ladies, no is telling yourself, yes, I choose you. And I think a lot of us think, okay, if I fill all these other people with love, they'll return the feeling to me. And we have to get out that mindset, because we cannot think that everybody has the exact same mindset, the exact same heart or soul as us, because that already sets us up for failure. Mm-hmm. You have to get in a position where you're like, okay, I love you, but I love me too. So I cannot spread myself thin to, after work, come all the way on the other side of town. I'm just saying. Oh. After work, come all the way on the other side of town, pick you up just to smoke with you all day because that's what you want to do, even though you have a way to me. I'm just going to overextend myself to go to you. You don't have to do that. You can just simply tell him no. And if he doesn't understand that, or if you're even in a situation where he's like, oh, you won't never tell me no. Oh, that should be an eye-opener right there. Well, why the hell I ain't never told you no? I know I wanted to tell you no a lot of times, but a lot of us women, we're shy. We're afraid of confrontation. We're afraid if we tell somebody no, then it's going to lead to an argument, and we just want to avoid that altogether. A lot of women are afraid of confrontation.
Yes. But what I was going to say is, and this is my experience, y'all don't like saying no because you don't like getting told no. And so, to counteract that, you have the excuse of, well, I don't ever tell you no, so why would you say it to me now? And sometimes it's like, I just don't feel like it. And it's like, well, even when I don't feel like it, I still do it. And I'm like, okay, why?
But you don't have to do it.
You don't, exactly. You don't have to. You don't have to. Like, you can say, I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling it. Babe, can you wash this? Or babe, can you do this? No, my back hurts. Oh.
Okay,
I guess.
And that might have been the first time you said no. And all he said was, oh, okay. And that could have changed your whole perspective. Oh, shit, it was that easy? Yeah. Like, speak up for yourself.
What's he going to do, whoop you?
Speak up for yourself.
It's different if he's saying, babe, I just want you to love me and communicate with me more. And you go, no. Now that's being an asshole.
Right.
But little simple shit, you do understand that you control your life. Like, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, including being with the person.
No, I don't. I honestly think a lot of women don't understand that. So, let me reiterate.
Okay.
You do not have to say yes to everything. You do not have to go out of your way. You don't have to do it. You choose to. Because most likely you want it to be reciprocated. You want that love to be reciprocated towards you. But you cannot fuel somebody else.
I caught it.
Okay? You cannot fuel somebody else when your tank is on E. Like, you can't do that. You gonna take your last $20 and put the gas in their tank, and you just gonna you just gonna sit there on the side of the road and not do nothing? Oh, it's okay. He needed it more than me. No, you needed it.
Like, it's okay for people to go through shit. Like, you don't have to save people. Like,
you don't.
People are allowed to deal with their bullshit.
Yes.
And sometimes you just gotta watch them. And just be glad that you're not sitting in that same bullshit. But when you put yourself in that situation, and then you find yourself feeling like, damn, this is bullshit. You're like, well, yeah. Because you involved yourself into a situation that you really didn't have to. When all you had to do was just say no. And I think a lot of the time is like, well, I would say a lot of the time, but just to further add on to some of the patterns that I've recognized is that in saying no, if I tell you no, I feel like you're not going to count on me anymore. And then I'm not going to be needed. And a lot of you have this need to be needed, to be wanted, to feel useful.
Mm-hmm. You want to be validated.
Right. And when people call on you for things, that validates the fact that someone needs you. Even if it's just simple shit like they just want to smoke with you because they ain't got no weed and they know you always got it. But they phrase it as, I love smoking with you. Oh, yeah, just come on through. It's that need to feel wanted. I want to ask y'all, why? Why do you want to feel wanted? That's a weird question, I know. But you have you.
You know what? Let me ask you this.
Okay.
In the current state you are in right now, could you honestly tell me, if you were on the opposing side, would you want to deal with you? Would you want to date you?
She's not talking to me, lady. She's talking to y'all. At first I thought you were talking to me, but you were talking to them.
That's just because a lot of y'all don't want to deal with yourselves, but you want to deal with everybody else. And I know it's a lot harder for us to start dealing with stuff in our own backyard, but it's necessary. It's necessary. You cannot.
Ooh. You know why it's so hard to deal with your own shit? Because it's very easy to go into somebody else's backyard and be like, ooh, damn, they dirty. They really need to clean up in here. It is so much harder to look at your backyard and say, ooh, damn, I'm dirty. And put that shit on you. Mm-hmm. And take responsibility for your own dirt.
Right.
And your own mess. And the fact that you don't even want to look at the mess you've created. It is That's the hard part. Nobody wants to admit that, yeah, I'm not perfect.
But guess what?
You don't have
Let me make it easier for you. We're all imperfect. So if that makes you feel a little better, hey, you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Gramps not perfect. But if you want to heal, honestly heal, you have to start acknowledging the fact that you're not perfect and that you want to grow.
I'm gonna probably go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm probably gonna cut this part out, but everyone being imperfect makes this all perfect. Because if everyone is imperfect, that means everyone has every imperfection that exists. So if all the imperfections are here at the same time, they create one whole perfection. And imperfection is just a piece of perfection that is askew.
Mm-hmm.
But if all the pieces are askew, and you put all the askew pieces together, you now have a complete piece. Our imperfections are what make us perfect as a whole. And if you look outside of yourself and get outside of your head, you can see, like, within the grand scheme of things, you're perfect. And I don't know, if that isn't enough for you, if that can't give you some form of hope or something like that, what are you looking for exactly? If you can't, you know what, let me not say that, because I know that there are outside forces that influence your mind state.
Mm-hmm.
And because of those outside influences and the fact that we have to live within a world governed by them, it's hard to ignore the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. But the people that know you for who you are and know you for, not as some copy of the world's version of perfection. They just know you for you. So while you're shooting to accommodate the world and what they want of you, there are people around you who already accept you for you. And maybe you feel like, nah, not really. And that's probably because you haven't opened yourself up to them. So if you feel like people aren't accepting of you and they're not really trying to interact with who you are, it's probably because you aren't showing them who you are.
You know what? I think Gramps,
Mm-hmm.
Son Ra said it best in his lecture at Berkeley.
Mm-hmm.
He said there was a black man on the streets and he was homeless and people were just walking by him, and this black woman stopped and she said, "Are we going to let our black brothers stay on the street like this? We can't allow this. He needs help." And she was just trying to show him genuine love.
Mm-hmm.
And he rejected her love and was like, "Get her away from me," basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody of another descent
Mm-hmm.
basically was to say, come and say something, I guess, well, not even another descent. Let's just say somebody came in on the opposite end, rather than saying something loving, they said something hateful, but he accepted that. I think that's what a lot of us do. the people who actually love us, because of the fact that we don't love ourselves, we can't accept them and accept their love that they're giving us. But we accept the people who really don't give a F about us because that's what we associate with love. Because that's how we feel about ourselves.
I kind of understand why he rejected her. I'm not an attraction to bring people towards. If you personally can help me, then help me and shut the fuck up about it. Don't tell the world about my situation. That's why I'm keeping to myself anyway.
I mean, but he's surrounded by all these people. They all see him in the situation that he's in. She's not like she's going to broadcast to other people. She's just saying it around the people that's literally walking past him, like ignoring him. Like,
but he doesn't want help. He's not asking for it. If you got shot in the stomach, you'd be calling out for 911 or somebody to help you and call 911 because you need help. That man had his mouth closed. He did not want help, nor did he need it. He was living. Maybe not up to the standard that she felt was, that she deemed worthy for him because of her arrogance and her race, but he was living.
So I might not have put it as eloquently as Sun Ra did.
You did put it eloquently.
No.
I disagree with Sun Ra. Because I caught the parable. I catch the parable, and I understand the point he's trying to make. That we're willing to, we're willing to internalize the negative and reject we internalize the negative because we've already been saying these things about ourselves, and so we feel that it is ourselves, rather than accepting some new perspective or some help because we don't feel that that is us. What you're trying to give me, I don't feel even belongs to me because this is what I've been saying about myself this whole time.
Right.
I get that. But she didn't try to help him herself. She pulled a Sarah McLachlan, like, the ASPCA be having those TV commercials and showing all those horrible fucking cats and dogs and shit, right? And Sarah McLachlan's there in her, heels and makeup and shit, and just there with all these fucking animals saying, "Can you help these animals? They need help." You are a multi-millionaire. If you don't adopt all of those motherfuckers and put them in a sanctuary, what are you doing? Don't you have famous friends? Why don't you just help them? You're standing right there. Why are you telling other people to help them? I don't need a public service announcement about it. I wasn't even asking for help. Honestly, ready to die. Ready to see what's next. That's how a lot of those animals are feeling. That's how a lot of homeless people be feeling. And then you elongate their lives and you make them have to start over from zero and try to adjust and relearn this society as fucked up as it is now.
Right.
And they're not prepared and they kill themselves.
Well, I can agree with that too, to a certain extent, right?
Right. And
sure.
But I'm just saying, all I was saying was this, outside of Raw, I get Raw's point. And so I understand what he was trying to get the people to understand. But with that, I think there was some nuance that was missed. Like, homie wasn't asking for help. He wasn't in pain. He was just sitting there. And she felt that he wasn't living in a place that she deemed worthy. She's the only one that said that or felt that. Everyone else was just like, I guess he's where he's supposed to be. Because otherwise he'd move. He'd do something. He'd go somewhere. And pretty much a pullback to our whole thing that we be saying to black women. Y'all put yourselves out there and you'll scream and shout at the top of your lungs asking for change, but aren't doing the things necessary to make change.
Well, I can't say that. I think black women are moving towards making the change happen for themselves by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't necessarily say that. But where I do feel that we can really collectively work together is making sure all of our sisters understand what self-love is and how important it is. Because a lot of us don't. Like, we think we love ourselves or we think we know what love is. But as soon as that shit gets hard, we give up. That's not love.
That doesn't fall on us as men. We can't.
I'm not even
Well, then
addressing.
let me re-ask that. I don't understand how we as men can help with that. Explain.
Well, I'm talking to my sisters.
Well, you said I know there's a better way. I know there's a better way for us to work together. And I was just talking about men, and then you started talking about women, and then you said there's a way for us to work together.
Right. I'm sorry. I was addressing my sisters.
Okay.
There's a way for us as my sisters to work together. I'm not really addressing the men because
Gotcha.
this don't got nothing to do with them.
Word.
You see how they be ready to jump down our throat?
No, I wasn't. I was just saying, like, I don't understand.
I'm just kidding.
How you want us to help.
I'm just
That's
kidding. I think sisters that we don't need to seek validation from men. We need to validate ourselves. And I know that's not easy. I know it's not. Because if it was easy, everybody do it. Right? But to sit down with yourself and really ask yourself, why can't I be alone? Why am I so afraid to be by myself? Why do I always constantly feel like I need to be in a relationship? Am I feeling a void? If so, where did this void come from? How did this void come about?
Surface. Y'all don't know who you are. Remember the questions I asked you the other day? Who are you? Why are you here? Sorry. Who are you? Why are you? Where are you? I'm saying that wrong. I'm saying that wrong. Give me a second.
And
go ahead.
And this part is really not just for women. This is for men who don't know the answer to these questions too. Because let me be honest, men fall victim to this shit too. Yes, they do.
I will say men have been born or been taught since birth the knowledge of why. That has always put us one step ahead of you. We've always known why we're here. We've always had our role as men in this society, in this world. That's never been something we've questioned. And that's why men have that confidence. There's a question in life that we've never had to ask ourselves. Why am I here? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Why am I here? Because they're always told us we're here to conquer, to rule, to provide, to all the shit that you guys expect of us. We're told that since day one. That's why we're here. For these things. They don't have that conversation with y'all. They tell you what to do, when to do it, but those aren't true conversations. I mean, those aren't true questions. just knowing what to do and just knowing when to do it doesn't help you understand why you're doing it. It doesn't help you understand how to do it and how it affects you. It also doesn't tell you where to. It doesn't tell you where to do it, nor does it tell you where the knowledge exists within you or outside of you to do what it is that the world expects of you. And so the knowledge of why I'm here, where I'm supposed to be, and how I got here. So what is here? Here is the situation that you're in. My man cheated on me. How'd I get here? What wasn't I seeing? What changed? Where? Where did it change? When did I first start noticing it? How did it change? I've noticed the change in him, but I never really focused on how he changed and in what ways. And when you have those three questions, that how, where, why, you realize I think I have my answer and I don't need this nigga no more. I think I understand now. I wasn't paying attention. I gotta take some responsibility on that. Okay, cool. Why wasn't I paying attention? Where should I have been paying attention? How could I have paid attention more? Why don't I know myself? How do I get... Why don't I know myself? Where do I exist? And how come I can't be alone with me? For those ladies who can't be alone with themselves, you need to first understand.
And like I said, because I meant this, you are not one of them, Gramps. But there are men out here who are like this, who can't be by themselves, who are always hopping from relationship, who don't understand self-love. Because I was dating a dude who didn't love himself. And he told me that. He was like, I don't love myself, but I love you. Most unhealthy relationship I was ever in. So y'all out here. Y'all are broken too. So this conversation applies for you too.
Why don't I know myself? Where am I? And how come I'm not better acquainted with me? Why do I feel disconnected from myself? Where is myself for me to even become connected to? And how do I connect to me? Why am I not where I want to be in life? Where do I want to be in life? And how come I haven't gotten there yet? I'm telling you, those three right there will break open the door to the knowledge of self. Those three questions answer so much. And if you figure out how to ask it the right questions to yourself, using those as the basis, you will start to answer some deep you'll start to answer just some I would say, yeah, deep questions about yourself that you may have been asking subconsciously, and because you never had a way to start to gather the answer, you would just ignore it. But you knew it was affecting you, like depression, like anxiety, like anger issues.
And let me tell you something that's really important for you ladies and men to know. When you are personally dealing with that depression and anxiety and anger issues, and you don't deal with that, and you go get in a relationship, I don't want to say you necessarily attract the same person, but you're going to attract a person with similar energy who's also dealing with hella shit. And now both of y'all are in this situation and y'all can't even enjoy each other because y'all are both in this.
Ooh, that's a bar. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Sorry, I said it out loud. I was trying to say it in my head.
Okay. Y'all are both in a situation now where you're unhappy. And I guarantee you, if you left that person and got in another relationship with those same issues, you'll still be unhappy. Because it's not the person that you're unhappy with. It's not the person that can't do anything for you. It's you refusing to help yourself that keeps putting you in these situations. So maybe, ladies, if you're dealing with any of this, you shouldn't be worried about marriage right now. That probably should be the last thing you're worried about. Mm-hmm. The first thing you need to worry about is, who am I? Who am I? Not with this guy or this guy or this guy. Who am I? What makes me excited to get out the bed in the morning and live? What makes me happy? What makes me sad? What don't I like? What do I like? What won't I stand? What will I stand? What is disrespect to me? What is okay? What are my limits? Do I have limits? What are my requirements for these men when they approach me? Do I have requirements?
And these questions are not necessarily meant to stump you. They're meant for you to recognize what you haven't been thinking about.
All I want you to do, ladies, is to think. And if you really feel like you need to write these questions down just to think about, okay. Because I guarantee you, nobody is going to be that upset with you taking time for yourself to care about yourself. Because in the long run, everybody benefits from you being in love with yourself. Everybody benefits from it, including you. So that need to fulfill others, when you fulfill yourself, you naturally fulfill the others around you who love you. Because people who really care about you, they just want to see you happy. And vice versa. Don't you want to see your friends happy? So why don't you think you deserve that same happiness? Not through a person, but by yourself. I think we need to stop thinking that it's a stigma to being by ourselves because I know a lot of women, we think that because of the fact that we're told, oh, you need to be married by a certain age. You got to have a baby by a certain age, this, that, and the other. Your biological clock, this, that, and the other. That makes you a real woman, you know? But, okay, let's say you never answered any of those questions for yourself, right? And you just kept, you know, you were just persistent. You didn't give up on your relationships, right? You also didn't heal yourself in the process, but you didn't give up on finding a relationship because you knew that one man would come along and be the one to sweep you off your feet and heal you. Okay, so he might come, right? Mm-hmm. He might marry you. That's a possibility. I won't say it won't. Oh, it won't be. And you will have a kid, right? And so in this marriage, now on top of you not dealing with the problems that you already had by yourself, now you have a child. Let's not even talk about the man. You have a child. And so because of the fact that you are not happy, and it's visible, you don't have
the capacity
any right, genuine love to give this child. You have necessity.
Mm-hmm.
Whew.
So, what are your thoughts, Stoney, on marriage?
First of all, I just want to say, ladies, I love y'all. And I want us to all do better. I want us to all thrive, and I want us to all just be acknowledged as the beautiful black women that we deserve to be. But that starts with us. We have to acknowledge one another. Like, I love y'all. Y'all are beautiful to me. So I'm acknowledging y'all. Go acknowledge your other sisters. It's okay. Spread that love. Spread that positivity. It's okay. Some of them might reject it. Fuck them. Take the ones who accept it. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's your sister. You know what I'm saying? Every sister ain't a sister. But Stoney's views on marriage. Mm-hmm. Right now, I would like to get married one day. Is it a requirement for me? No, absolutely not. Is it something I would want to do right now? No. I'm not in a point right now in my life where my career is where I want it to be. My family's not financially set up like I would want them to be. There's a lot of shit that for me personally I haven't accomplished for myself. And so it's not necessarily saying that I need to accomplish everything before marriage, but I would like to be in a situation where, because I already love myself, that's not the problem, but I would like to be comfortable in a situation where not only do I love myself, but I love where I'm at in life. Mm-hmm. And nobody or no thing can take away my happiness because I truly have this joy within me. So when I'm at that point of happiness, it doesn't matter to me if I'm single or not. And if I give myself time to prepare and get myself ready, I might attract the right man. You know what I'm saying? But that's not my goal. No, it's not. Because this generation, I honestly think marriage is it's such a joke now to this generation. So it's something I would like, but it's not something that I would just be like, oh, I need. Because if I just want it so desperately, I'll end up getting married to the wrong person and getting a divorce. So before Stoney decides to commit to anybody, because I'm dating right now, you know what I'm saying? I don't even believe in a boyfriend. And Gramps knows that. He knows how I feel about that. I don't like the boyfriend word. It's pointless to me. I feel like people tell me all the time, well, that's a transitioning point. You know, how are you supposed to understand how you're supposed to be with your boyfriend, and then you're supposed to grow into a husband? There ain't no fucking taxes. You can't file single, boyfriend, married. Like, what the fuck? No. In my opinion, we're going to date. You know, I'll court you, I'll entertain you. We can be friends. But I'm going to focus on myself while I'm dating you. Because I got shit to do. And I can't get wrapped up in you. I've done that in my past. So excuse me if I'm focusing on myself. But I've let myself get wrapped up into too many people in my past. And I cannot consciously make that mistake anymore. So while I'm grinding and hustling and doing what I gotta do, I will attract whatever, you know what I'm saying, I deserve and desire if I so please. But it's gotten to a point for me where marriage is not in this world. It's too much corruption going on. And it's at a time now where it's just like, what's the point of getting married? Like, because I feel like people get so bored with marriage that everybody wants to be polygamous nowadays because of the fact that, I mean, you can have this girlfriend, you can have this girlfriend, you can have, why don't we just put them all together, sister wives, you know what I'm saying? If I'm going to deal with that, I'd rather be fucking single. I'm just going to be honest. And I'm not going to, oh my gosh, my biological clock is ticking. I just need a man right now. Because what I've learned, sis, is that when I do that for myself, I usually end up attracting bullshit. It just is what it is. Because I wasn't even in a position mentally to need to be in a relationship. So why am I there are so many other things going on in my life that I need to concentrate on, and all I'm worried about is some dick. Like, my priority's not right. So Stoney's views on marriage, if it happens, praise God. My requirements, I won't list them, but I have them, and standards. And he got to come correct. But he already understands that the way he approaches me, the way I present myself, he knows he has to come correct. Because of how I present myself. And that's another talk for another day, ladies. But the way you walk out the door is the way you want to be treated. Honestly. And just hold on to that. Because in this society, appearance is everything. People will literally take you serious or not take you serious without even talking to you, by just looking at you. So when I go out, I'm going to take my time to care about myself. Present myself in a way that I would like to be presented to the public, because I don't know who I'm going to run into, period. Not just a man, period. You have to go out with that intention. It's just not just clothes. It's the intention that I don't know who I'm going to run into today. So let me make sure I'm ready. That takes self-love. Because depression will let you, trust me, I'm just getting over. Depression will let you walk out the house any kind of way, not caring. Anxiety will let you walk out the house any kind of way, not caring. But self-love will be like, nah, sis, take that little time for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta do the most with your makeup. Put a little something on, go out. Because when you love yourself and you appreciate yourself and you confident, it shows. It shows through the way you talk to other people, through the way you interact with other people, and through the way that they interact with you, or you let them interact with you. Because people are going to come at you correct when you start taking yourself serious, period. Period. I think this generation is on to something, because 9 times out of 10, we don't need to be getting married. Whereas savage we are. Like Gramps said, we are savage. Do I want kids one day? Of course. Of course. But I won't just get married just to. That's just Stoney's take. And that's just that. You got anything you want to add to that, Gramps?
To your views on marriage?
No. You got anything you want to add to the conversation, the topic?
You want to ask me?
What's your views on marriage, Gramps? Because I think you already gave me that.
No, we were talking about our generation.
Okay. So, Gramps, hit me up. What's your views on marriage?
Personally, okay. I guess I'm down for it. I don't think that the current climate of women are ready and accepting of my love, because I view it differently, and I love all the way, and it sounds very cliche and whatever, but I'm capable of loving not just one woman. Like, I actually genuinely love like 2 or 3. But my love for either of them doesn't interfere with either of them. The way I interact with either of them, none of them bleed in. It's not like I'm like sectioning them off. It's just we all live different lifestyles, and we don't necessarily coincide with each other. But I wouldn't consider them a girlfriend, but they're my friends. Like, they're my best friends, but at the same time lovers. And I'm gonna always love them. Like, even if I meet somebody later on in the future, and that we get to talking about marriage, she's gonna have to understand that, not necessarily that I know how to respect a relationship and a marriage and everything, but at the same time, my love for them will never go anywhere because I've chosen to love them. Like, it's not a love out of obligation. I love them. I could care less if they love me back. I want to love them. I want to give them my love. The way that I know how to show it, and the way whatever way that I like. And when you get into a marriage, it gets very selfish. I'm not allowed to love who I want. And a lot of times, as women, y'all take the fact that I love somebody else to mean that I don't love you, and that's bullshit. Because you love your mom, you love your brothers, your sisters, your dad, aunts, uncles, nieces, and nephews. 100%, you love them. But the love you have for your mom doesn't interfere with the love you have for your brother. The love you have for your sister doesn't interfere with the love you have for your dad. The love you have for your best friend doesn't interfere with the love you have for your mother. They're not fighting for each other. You love them all. Some maybe not equally, but you still love them all. And that love is genuine and real, and it exists for each of them respectively. The love you show your brother is not the same love you show your mom. The love you show your dad is not the same love you show your friend. But you show them all your love, and you give them all 100% of that love. The love that is designated for them, and that's how I am. built relationships with people, and I've chosen them as my family and people that I want to have in my life for the rest of my life. And I don't need a contract or a marriage certificate for me to keep them in my life. Just gotta be a good fucking friend. Like, I'm cool with best friends for life. And I take care of my friends. I love my friends. How I show my love is nice. It's tight. What the fuck is this? Sorry. Goddamn ads. We don't do ads. Alright. That is a concept that women have a hard time. I don't know if you have a hard time wrapping your head around, but I do know you have a hard time accepting and rolling with. Because you always think you're in competition with each other. And that I can say I'm loving you equally, but you'll still feel like I might love one more than the other just because, I don't know. There's this weird thing where it's like, if you don't give me, if you love somebody else and I don't have 100% of your heart, it's like, damn, where's my mama supposed to fit into that? I'm supposed to give 100% of my love and heart to you. Where the fuck does my family fit? This expectation y'all put on us is so whack, man. Not being married allows me to just stay me. I can love people the way I want to love them because I want to love them. And I don't have to be obligated to do it. So if you receive my love, it's because I genuinely want to give it to you. And you know that. If you want to be married to me, I'm down for it. I ain't signing a contract. I don't want a marriage license. I don't want the fucking government to know what the fuck I'm doing as far as my love life goes. But I will claim you. I will wear the ring. I will tell everyone that we're married. Have a fucking ceremony. I don't give a shit. But love me because you want to love me. Because the marriage contract takes the trust out of it. We're gonna be in this forever? Bet. I'm gonna trust you on that, on the strength. On throwing them grave. You riding with me, I'm riding with you. We gonna love each other to the end of the day. That's just the way it is. If shit happens, then I mean, shit would have happened anyway. At least there's no goddamn contract that's forcing us into courts and all types of other bullshit. But if y'all were gonna have a successful marriage, contract or not, it would have still been a successful marriage. Just fucking love each other. If you're just gonna trust each other, that each other's going to love each other to the end of time and be faithful to one another, just do that shit. Why we need all the extra? Because I can do that. But I want it to be off trust. I want to fully trust that you're here with me. Because you choose to be. Because you can fully, wholeheartedly, with 100% peace of mind, walk away. And there's nothing holding you here. You're not contractually bound to me. Your heart can go wherever it chooses. If it so chooses to. But I know I'm going to do my fucking job. So I hope your heart chooses me. Just like when I choose to give my love to whoever. I choose you. And I give my love to you regardless of the way that you show me love. I don't expect people to show me love the way I show them love. Y'all can't do me like I do me. My love is special. My love is rare. I don't expect my love from people. I love myself. That's exactly why I know that my love is special and rare. I know exactly how my love feels because I love myself. Which is why I'm capable of being able to love whoever if I so choose to. And I don't choose to love arbitrarily either. Like, there's high standards, very strong criteria. And most of them I haven't even had sex with. and it's only 3. So, do the math. I don't know. Marriage for me just feels like it takes the trust out of love. Because before you were married, y'all was doing the same exact shit. Hanging out every fucking day, living together, fucking, shopping, groceries, cooking, going to church, whatever y'all do, I don't know. Y'all were already doing all this shit together anyway. So just keep doing it. Why does anything even have to have that type of title? Like, we just, yeah, nigga, we together. I bought her a ring and everything just to show, yeah, we together. You know, we're married. This is my girl. This is my woman. Wife, don't even fucking matter. Woman, wife, girl, lady, boo thing, honey bunches of oats, whatever you want to call a woman. As long as she knows, or as long as she upholds her end of the deal and is actively being faithful to you and you're actively being faithful to her, what fucking difference does it make? You're going to still be taking care of her. If y'all have kids together, you're still going to take care of your children. You're going to be providing for the house. What fucking difference does it make? He's still going to take care of you. He loves you, girl. Why you got to trap him into some bullshit? Because you aren't certain. Y'all don't fully trust us until there's a marriage certificate. It's what gives you your peace of mind. Your peace of mind doesn't lie with me and my love. Your peace of mind lies with that piece of paper. And it's sickening to me. You will not feel... there is a total difference in unmarried woman and married woman. And it's that... And it's literally that peace of mind. And married women will tell you, when you get married, it's just a peace. Why? Was it turmoil before? Was it just all in shambles and shit was about to go down the drain before you signed the marriage certificate? I doubt it. So why now does it bring you peace? It's because you know that now this marriage is not solidified by God or by love. This marriage is now solidified by paper, by contract, and by money. Because you got to pay to do that shit. I bought this marriage. This marriage belongs to me now. And if you try to walk away from this marriage, I'll take what I deem to be mine. Fuck that. Just let me love you. And once you're tired of my love, bounce. I don't need you to love me. So if loving me is not something that you feel you can do just because it's what you want to do, I'm cool. I have a great personality. I love having friends. You don't have to go further than that. But I'm a great lover. And I think I do pretty well in loving and expressing my love. And I'm not a guy that hides his feelings. Like I know how to communicate. Like I'm a real cool fucking dude. Like honestly, if you could just get over that bullshit, it's a great time with me. You can get over that marriage bullshit. It is a great fucking time with me. And I am a best friend for life type of nigga.
Word.
If you want some dick on the side, that can be arranged as well. But it will not interfere with the fact that I love you as my friend. And that I want the best for you as my friend. I appreciate my friends more than I do my family. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I cherish my friends more than I do my family, my blood family. If I'm being honest, I could give a fuck about my blood family. Blood is thicker than water, sure. But your body is made of 60% water, 70% water. Which means you need more water than blood in your system to operate and thrive and live successfully. And you have to make sure that you continue to maintain the amount of water that you keep within your system. Otherwise, you'll get sick, you'll get dehydrated, because you need water. You need friends, both male and female. You need people outside of the people you were born into, because blood gets sick, but water is water. Blood gets diseases. Water is going to stay water. And if you got true friends, your friends are going to stay your true friends, no matter what goes on. If it was truly built off of friendship. Now, if you have those friendships that maybe dive into some of that, sexual stuff, and now it can't go back, the basis of y'all's friendship wasn't all the way there. Somebody had an ulterior motive since the beginning. Usually the guy. Usually the guy was playing it safe until you gave him the go-ahead, and then now he got the go-ahead. He tries to make a relationship, fucks it all up, and then now your friendship is fucked. That just comes from a bad foundation on your friendship. Even with my relationships, I've always made sure that it starts off at a base friendship. My friendship turns into good friends. Once I feel like we're good friends, then I'll see which way I want to take it. Either best friends, just staying good friends. Maybe we can go a little bit further, see if you want to date or something, because now I know who you are and I can hang out with you. But I can't date nobody I can't hang out with. Just on a regular. Like, I can't hang out with nobody. I can't date nobody that I can't just talk to for shits and giggles. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to always be flirting. I don't want it to always be talking about sex, and that's the only thing that we can, talk about, because that's all we're concerned about. That's all we connect on. That I don't want. Yeah. Marriage is a concept. It's a concept that I don't agree with, and it's a concept being enforced by the government, women, and I don't subscribe to it. I can have a marriage without their guidelines, without their rules and boundaries attached to it. My marriage is free to fly wherever it wants. Be it together, be it we separate, be it we add somebody else to it. Now, you could do that if it's not contractual. You know what I mean? You could just fucking live together. Honestly, it restricts so much when it comes to love, marriage. Marriage restricts love. It really does. Because you're allowed to meet somebody better than the situation you're in. You don't have to stay attached to somebody. You can be in love with someone and then realize, oh, there's a better life that can be afforded to me. A marriage keeps you from being able to level up if that so happens to fall into your lap. Say there's a nigga that's willing to provide you with a better life and love you. Not that you weren't already being loved, but maybe you weren't being loved in a way that you thought, in a way that you knew you could be loved. You could be loved and spoiled. You know what I mean? Just because a nigga love you don't mean that's what you gotta settle for. You know what I mean? Everyone is capable of love, but there's some niggas that can provide you with love and a better living situation. No, I'm not saying that's why you do it, but I'm saying if you're married to one guy and you realize that, you know, the life I'm living now is not the life I want for myself and I see that I can have something better, leave. And in a non-contractual marriage, you can fucking do that. And you have the right to do that. And it may hurt your partner, yes, but it's not your fault. You're allowed to change. Your heart is allowed to move on. And people just gotta deal with that shit. They'll get over it. So, long story short, contract marriages I am 100% against. But trust marriages, I'm here for that. Because I don't get with anyone that I can't trust anyway. And I wouldn't even be in those talks with someone who I didn't have a full understanding of where their head was as far as our relationship and how long they really plan to be in this. So if you do your proper research ahead of time and you ask all the right questions and you take proper time to get to know a person, become true friends with one another, you don't have to worry about whether or not, you don't have to worry about trying to trap a nigga in something. Because even if y'all broke up, if y'all are real friends and you did your proper work ahead of time before you made a full-on relationship and marriage with this person or trust marriage with this person, if it doesn't work out, you're still friends. I mean, you may need to take some time away from each other, but that person's not going to just give up on you and like leave you to the dust. If you need some help with, getting on your feet, y'all were just married. Like, they're not just going to leave you. And some might. But again, those are assholes, and they probably weren't your true friends in the first place. I'm talking about your true friends, people who have formed a trust relationship or a trust marriage with a true, real best friend that has your back, marriage or not. That will be your friend, lover or not. That will love you whether you love them back or not. And not just love you in the romantic and sexual way, but also was loving you before y'all started doing that. Like, y'all were able to say, I love you to each other on a friendship level. Y'all have many friends like that? Male, female? Where you can just tell them I love you and it's not like some, oh, what, are we dating now bullshit? No, nigga, I just love you, man. I can't just tell you I love you and it not be like you try an opportunity for you to get in my pants now. Like, do you have friends like that where you could just tell them I love them? I love you? Can you turn that friend into your boyfriend or potential partner? You already love them. Why are we so afraid to be with our friends and see if it works? Because we don't form true friendships. We know that if it doesn't work, that I'm not going to be able to deal or interact with this person anymore. And that's a little it's just whack. It's just whack. Because y'all were already, I don't know. Stoney said it best. Kids don't take marriage seriously these days. Neither do they take friendship seriously. Which is why a lot of marriages aren't making it very far. Because you're marrying strangers. Essentially. Like, y'all get to know each other, but y'all only see each other on dates. You don't really take any time living with each other. I say you should live with anyone before you get married to them. The way they was doing it back in the day is bullshit. I don't get to see you naked. I don't get to even know your hygiene habits before I marry you. Come find out you got the burning bush down below, or you fart in your sleep, and that shit is rank. Some of y'all stank, men and women. Sometimes once you find that shit out, you're like, oh, I cannot be with this person. Well, I'm not gonna be able to sleep in the same bed with this person. This nigga farts in his sleep, and I'm not here for that. I'm glad I found this out before I married this motherfucker and was in some contractual obligation with him, and now I have to try to learn to accept this methane gas chamber that he creates underneath the bed covers every night. No way. In a trust marriage, that would be a great and perfect conversation for, or a trust relationship, that's a perfect conversation for it. Okay, so this was awesome, but you fart in your sleep, and I don't think I can deal with that. And to them, they may be like, what? But we built all this, and ja, and I love you. And it's like, I love you too, but I don't love that, and I don't have to love that or accept that as far as what I want to live and spend all of my nights with. But we can still be friends and we can still hang out like we used to. But I don't think I can live in this type of situation. You should be able to do that and just walk away from it once you learn shit that you don't like. You don't have to you don't have to try and grow and accept a person. You don't have to do that shit. Some people want to because they truly love a person. They want to be through that whole process, the maturation process of their lover. They want to know their lover before and after. There are some people like that. I'm like that. With some people, not all of them. I'm quick to just be like, hey, you know what? This shit ain't gonna work. This it's not gonna work, and it is you. It is not me, and I would like to take some time away so that we can rekindle our friendship. Any real friend would get that. Because it wasn't about the relationship to begin with. It was always a friendship. Date your friends, y'all. Real friends. Figure out what a real friend is first. There are some. When you get into a marriage and a relationship, you can't just be in it and just living in it. You got to make sure you're operating and working, or not necessarily working, but doing something that's bringing you some sort of type of, supplemental income just in case. Just in case. Because you don't have no contract to fall back on. You actually have to be an independent woman for yourself or your children or your family. It's awesome having multiple incomes coming into the household, not just your husband's. There are some that want to be housewives, and I'm here for that. I personally would like one. But that's not everybody's motif. And that's not what everybody has to do, and that's not what every man wants. So, choose accordingly. I think we got enough to cut together and splice.
Oh yeah, you guys, we just wanted to come on camera and let you know our feelings about the 21st century and marriage.
21st century marriage. Is it 21st or 22nd?
No, we're in the 21st still. So, what are you going to say?
No. Go ahead, close it up.
So, you guys, this was your girl, Stoney.
And your boy, Millennial Grandpa.
And thank you for listening to another
Let's do that again. Talk, please.
I am talking.
No, you're not. You're whispering.
So, you guys, this is your girl, Stoney.
And your boy, Millennial Grandpa.
And this was another episode of the Houston Chronicle with a K, not a C. And we just want you to have a great morning, a great afternoon, and a great evening.
Good night.